morning, Dietrich.
Good morning.
Thanks for doing this with me. I appreciate it a lot.
I've always been asked by my counselors and different people like that, like that who I've worked with and they say, hey, like, is there anything that that happened when you're younger, like that that really could have damaged you or anything like, and I'm like thinking about it and I'm like, no. I say, no. And they're like, they kind of look at me like,
what are you hiding?
yeah, they're like, they're like, huh, are you sure? Like, I can't complain. I had a really, really great supportive and constructive childhood. I got to do sports, I got to do a lot of different things, and I got to study the Bible when I was in fifth grade, and that was super fun. And go get pizza with dad, and every Friday, and that was like something I would like really look forward to.
I mean, the theme for this week for Advent is peace, and peace is something that everybody wants, and a lot of people have a hard time getting. And you've battled for getting peace, inner peace in your life.
Like, I think that I first started experiencing anxiety more in the form of like ADHD symptoms. But I think that I really started to experience it in college. Like, I don't know why, but I'm started to figure out pretty quickly that it was an anxiety thing.
When you look back on it, why did anxiety become worse in college?
I sort of like hit 20 years old, and I remember I was like, oh, like this is an acceptable way, or this is like a way that, I could, really handle my anxiety and like, in a way that seems kind of cool or whatever. And it seems
Yeah,
kind of
because
like,
everybody drinks in college. That's part of what you're supposed to do, is just
exactly.
party, and
Yeah, totally. And so that to me, that was like the start of, like the start of like the self-delusion, I can do this because it's fine, and my anxiety, and I need it more because I have a harder time going to social occasions or something. It took a couple of years to get to a much more destructive point.
So let's fast forward to kind of like a big part of your story, which was when you took a job up in Jackson, Wyoming. So why don't you walk us through that? And
I just had graduated college, and I was looking, and I remember this was 2015, and I actually was looking for a way to become sober. I still really deal with a lot of anxiety before going to work, to where it would be like an hour or 2 hours of just tumultuous sort of like, this and that, and like I just trying to handle myself to where I can reach an equilibrium, to where I can to stay focused, and and apparently a lot of people struggling with substance abuse, a lot of addicts and stuff like that, they think that moving to a different location will be the answer, to solving all of their addictions. And at the time I was just, I was smoking a lot of marijuana and drinking every now and then, but mostly just smoking marijuana every day. And I was wanting to get out of both of those things. And I figured, I figured that once moving up there, that I could really just kind of be able to stop smoking weed, and ended up going up there and realizing that, I didn't really ever have a really workable way to handle anxiety at the time. Once I wasn't able to smoke as much weed, I started to really feel the anxiousness, and I lost my job up there because of it. And then just because of the stress,
suddenly you're cut off from one of your medications.
Yeah,
we have a couple of passages about peace that we're going to read in this battle of anxiety versus peace. So why don't you read us Isaiah 9:6?
For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. I remember before I left to Jackson, I was really searching for God at that point. I think that I was sort of like agnostic, I guess, or just sort of like God wasn't really involved in my life at all at that point. I was really pushing him out, or just like holding him, like I know that you're here, but I don't really want to engage with you. Like, it wasn't so personal. It was more like, this is just kind of what, I've been told or
Mhm.
whatever, or what I've been influenced by growing up, and or like just what I've been, what I know,
Mhm.
right? And so I'm trying to, figure out a new thing.
Mhm.
It was helpful in the sense that I knew that God was there. It was,
Mhm.
once I actually wanted to start talking to God, it was like, okay, like he's still there.
Right.
There's a connection. And so, so this was, 4 or 5, 6 years of not really caring about God,
Mhm.
or pursuing him, or before going to Jackson. I remember I had this old Bible that I found,
Mhm.
and I just started reading stories from, about Jesus, and about David. I got like a foreshadowing, of God, just like he was hitting me with, he was hitting me with his spirit a little bit before I left. However, when I quit my job, I was just like, when I left to go to Jackson, I was just in a world of shame, just like feeling, like stupid, and just feeling like I was just mean to people. Like like I had a good boss and I just totally snubbed him.
Mhm.
But instead, in my egotistical 23-year-old 24-year-old mind, that I wanted to just keep advancing my own career, and so and I was like, oh, this is a way to both get out of the, of my of the influence of addiction, and also
Mhm.
to advance my career, while ignoring, all of these, spiritual and anxiety
Mhm.
issues that were really still, like, that were really becoming more apparent,
Yeah.
more apparent.
So you lose your self-medication, your anxiety amps up, and you end up losing your job at the resort up in Jackson. So